want to go to our next guest is Mr. Stewart Rhodes. He is the founder and president of Oath Keepers. And I want to really quick address one more time the active duty soldiers here. Service members, excuse me, I'm an Army guy. Service members, regardless of what branch you're in. And I'm going to say this publicly. If your unit is telling you that you cannot be a member of Oath Keepers, they are lying to you. They are violating your rights, and they need to be reported through the chain of command. You have a right to be a member of Oath Keepers. You have a right not to be harassed for being a member of Oath Keepers. And if they do, there are processes that you can go through JAG and IG and all those kinds of things. And if you're a member of Oath Keepers, you do not have to tell your commander when your meetings are, where your meetings are, who your meetings are with, or any of that stuff. Okay? I just want you to know that. It doesn't matter if you're an E1 or an O10. So, with that said, I want to bring up the founder of Oath Keepers. He served in the U.S. Army as a paratrooper, a former firearms instructor, and he was a member of Dr. Ron Paul's DC staff. He's a Yale research scholar and is now writing a book on the dangers of applying the laws of war to the American people. And he's going to be bringing with him Mr. Bodecker. His real name is Warren. This is a World War II veteran. He is an Army paratrooper, did 3 combat jumps in Luzon, New Guinea, and the Philippine Islands. One of those jumps saved 2,146 prisoners that were about to be executed. He goes by the name Ren because he wanted to take the war out of Warren. So I want to welcome Mr. Stewart Rhodes and World War II hero Ren Bodecker.
When Ren came back from World War II, as he said, he took the war out of his name because he was returning to peace. He had defeated the foreign enemies of the Constitution, and he came home in peace to live his life and raise a family. It's a shame that now, at the twilight of his life, at 90 years of age, he has to stand back up again against the domestic enemies of the Constitution. But that's exactly why he's here. We just flew back in from Washington, D.C. He saw what happened on Sunday, and he wanted to be there. We missed the chance to be there on Sunday. We went there on Wednesday, and he went to the memorial, the World War II memorial, and saw those barricades up, and he told us, this is intolerable. This cannot stand. And so he led us and taken them back down again. We dismantled them, we tore them down, took them across the street, and put them on the lawn across the street. And so for most of the day, the memorial was left unmolested as intended. He was on an honored flight a year ago. I came with him as his escort. And that means so much to those guys. To be able to go there and say their final piece to their brothers who they lost. A whole wall of stars representing 540,000 Americans lost. And if we let what they fought for be destroyed, then they will curse our names as they should. And so are our children. Something you need to understand. Men like Ren, this is what America really is. And every generation of Americans have had to take a stand. And now it's our watch. You cannot leave it to a 90-year-old World War II vet to do it for you. You gotta do it now. Just like you cannot leave your children to fix the mess that we have caused by our neglect of our duties. How many here have served in the military and swore that oath to the Constitution? Raise your hand. You are still bound by that oath. When does that oath expire? So long as you're on this side of the grass, you better follow his example. Do not be afraid to stand up. And even if you are afraid, stand up anyway. That's what courage is. You think the guys that landed at Iwo Jima were afraid? You think Warren, sure they were, but they still went and did it. The guys that landed at Normandy Beach, Iwo Jima, the guys that stood here in the Alamo, understood what it meant to pay the ultimate price. And they did it willingly. You need to embrace your place in history. Don't say to yourself, oh, I wish I'd have been born 2 generations ago. I could live in peace in between the warriors. No, you were born here at this time as an American for a reason, and it was not to live on your knees. Aristotle said that courage is the first virtue, because without courage, doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how much wisdom you have, how much book learning you have, without courage, nothing else matters. If you know what's right, you need the courage to do what's right. Without courage, your rifles are useless. If you don't have courage, you know what you are? You're a porter, holding that rifle until a real man or woman comes along to use it. That's what you are if you don't have courage. You've got to have courage. Colonel Travis, one of the last things he said from the Alamo in his appeal, he said, I will hold out as long as I can, but I will comport myself like a soldier, remembering always what is due to my own honor and the honor of my country, and that is victory or death. And just as Patrick Henry said, liberty or death. At the Battle of Bunker Hill, there was an old man, much like Wren, really old. He'd been a veteran fighting against the French and Indians, but he was there again to fight one more time. Before the battle started, they could see the British crossing the canal with their canoes, with their boats. They knew they were coming. They knew it was coming, a bayonet charge. And he got down on his knees and prayed. And was he praying that God would save him from the bayonets so he survived the battle? No. He got down on his knees and he thanked God for preserving him so he could stand there that one more time and fight. That's what he thanked him for. As CJ said, Wren and his buddies, they knew that there was going to be an execution of over 2,000 men, women, and children in the Los Banos prison camp the next day. And so they saddled up and they parachuted in behind enemy lines, 40 kilometers behind Japanese lines, and they surprised the guards, shot the crap out of the guards, and rescued all of those prisoners. So now Wren wants to say a few words about that. And for those of you who have ever sworn an oath to support and defend the Constitution, if you would like to renew that oath, or if you've never sworn that oath and you'd like to take it for the first time, to commit to standing as firm as guys like this stand, we'll invite you to do so, and Wren will lead you in that oath ceremony. But do not utter those words unless you have the same resolve that he had. The same resolve that his brothers had. The same resolve that Colonel Travis and his men had. If you don't have the same resolve and take it as seriously, do not sully those words by taking the oath. Only do it if you really mean it. So Wren, thank you for your service. And I want to thank you for being here with us today, for all you've ever done for this country. You're doing it right now. What do you have to say to the folks?
I'm not going to say hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say hello, brothers and sisters. You are what makes life worth living. You, the people that stand up for liberty, that's willing to take a stand, no matter what that stand costs us. It's time that we wake up the sleeping giant. That is America.
We are the sleeping giant.
I was sleeping, not politically, not government-wide, but I was resting in my home till I met Stewart Rhodes here, and he had me make another jump. And I've been jumping ever since.
He made one more jump behind enemy lines into Washington, D.C.
I'm more scared of being in front of you than I was when I was making parachute jumps. I want to read to you. Hang on, Kenneth. You ought to put with me a little bit. I'm not as fast as I used to be.
Now, when Wren leads you in the oath, You just repeat after him, insert your name in there, okay?
I,
Hold on, raise your right hand. Covers off.
I,
Raise your right hand.
got somebody to lead me.
Hold this right up here. I'll hold it
Hold
for you.
that.
I got it.
I, Warren Bodecker, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Reservations or purpose of.
Did I take this obligation
That's-
freely?
Excuse me one sec, that wasn't, this is in front of my reading. With,
That I take this obligation freely.
and I take this oath, obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of
Evasion.
evasion. Pledging my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor, so help me God. Thank you much.
Now, Red, if you don't mind, if you could talk to every current serving person in the military right now, of every branch, what would you say to them about their obligations and their duties under their oath?
Our country is in terrible, terrible danger. Our freedoms are in terrible, terrible danger of being lost. I say to anybody, any young man especially, take a stand even if it costs your life. Life without freedom is nothing. I will wander a little bit here. The government's trying to take my home. I said in the paper, the only way I'll leave my home is feet first, or in cuffs, and it's going to cost them to get me in cuffs. I want to cover a little bit of that jump in where we saved at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We got the notice that there was 2,146 prisoners in Los Banos prison camp in the Philippine Islands that were going to be shot at 7 o'clock in the morning. 121 of us loaded on planes, and we hit the silk at exactly 7 o'clock, and just high enough that we wouldn't hit the ground, and landed in the prison camp. Released 2,146 with only one person being killed. There was a man from Texas, no less, with a BAR machine gun that was ahead of us. There was a Japanese in a foxhole with a rifle pointing up. You won't believe this. He pulled the trigger and the slug went in right at the curve of his steel helmet. Went through the steel helmet, followed the helmet liner, steel helmet, all the way around, came back out at the curve in the back. Impossible. He's from Texas, a Sergeant Blanchard. I don't know whether he's alive today or not.
Can't kill a Texan.
I was born on a dairy farm in Minnesota. When I was 10 years old, I started packing one of these. And I've had a gun on me or near me the rest of my life. I've hunted for meat, and I've never shot anybody, accidentally or otherwise. Guns don't kill people unless there's somebody behind them purposely killing them. We need to get behind the gun to purposely kill some people on the face of this earth today, at whatever the cost. I'm not going to tell you who, that's for you to make up your minds. Who needs to be shot? Our government stinks. And I want to bring another thing out. I keep bringing out here. I would say 75% of the American citizens are captured by a stinking government and a television. Turn off your television and do some investigating. Join Oath Keepers. He can put you in action. Here I am, and I can be sat at home in a comfortable chair. But I'd rather be here, and if I could make one more jump, I would gladly give my life to jump into Washington, D.C. on the Capitol grounds, and a few people there I wouldn't mind taking out. You don't know how thrilling it is to look out and see all you people all around here that are taking a stand for our freedom, not for our government. I'm a constitutionalist, 100%. We need the Constitution Party to come into everybody's home, and we need to vote for people that believe in the Constitution, will stand up and defend it with their life. I think I've said enough. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
You know, folks, and it was the World War II veterans who led the way of taking down those barricades. They showed up for the honor flights, and they saw that, and they said, we're not having this. They went right around and went right into the World War II Memorial, and that was the beginning of it. And there were others that were there on Sunday who took it even further and went and deposited those back where they belong, return to sender. But they led by example. Follow their example. Let go of your fear. Colonel Cooper, one last quote before I go. Jeff Cooper once remarked, Marine Colonel Jeff Cooper once said, the rifle itself has no moral stature, since it has no will of its own. Naturally, it may be used by evil men for evil purposes, but there are more good men than evil, and while the latter cannot be persuaded to the path of righteousness by propaganda, they can certainly be corrected by good men with rifles. Thank you, folks.
You know, my grandfather was really into genealogy. He did it the old way. He went town to town and went through their books. And according to his ledgers, my 8th uncle, Colonel Travis, would probably be smiling at us right now. And all of us here that are concerned enough to come out and do something about what's going on in this town, what's going on in America. We're going to be drawing here shortly the raffle for all sorts of wonderful prizes. We're going to be lining up in a few moments as well at the corner down here of the Alamo, and we're going to march down to Travis Park. We're going to have a little town hall style open mic forum.